I went into the living room, and the entire living room was on fire.
Welcome to Miss Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 craziest cases on the People's Court.
Do you have proof that you
My
paid?
brother wrote the letter saying I did.
No, that's not proof you paid it. Anybody can write anything on a piece of paper.
For this list, we'll be looking at the wildest, most memorable things that have gone down on this courtroom series. Did we make a convincing case? Drop your verdicts in the comments below. Number 10, fighting over ashes.
I cannot make an order on this case.
This wild and heartbreaking case finds two parents fighting over their dead son's ashes. The judge can barely keep up with all the twists and turns of the story, which include very shocking allegations about the father's history with illicit substances.
My son, was introduced to drugs by him.
As tears are shed and mud is flung, Judge Millian soon realizes this is not a case for her courtroom, but she still tries to give the emotional litigants some sincere advice.
Every day will get just a little more tolerable, but only if you let go of the anger that you have inside of you.
Whether or not it helped, it's a prime example of her ability to see through to the heart of every case. Number 9, roommate squabble.
You have to distinguish between evidence and what you want to be evidence.
In this case, the plaintiff sues an old roommate for some items that were never returned. It seems simple enough at first, but once the judge gets to the defendant's list of complaints, things take a turn for the bizarre. The defendant soon starts accusing the plaintiff of mistreatment and of damaging items in the house, including a rug that was used for rather unsanitary business.
After she finishes, she gets up and the back end of her, she's going to the bathroom all over my rug.
The embarrassed plaintiff's excuse is that she was too busy to go to the bathroom at the time. The audience is noticeably grossed out and confused by what they've just heard. Even Judge Millian has to pause to come up with a graceful response.
So if the plaintiff pooped in the rug twice, can the defendant throw her out?
Absolutely. Maybe the first time, I'll let it slide, but not the second time.
Number 8, sugar daddy arrangement gone wrong.
How long you been using men like this? Always?
The middle-aged plaintiff in this case probably thought he hit the jackpot when the young, beautiful defendant agreed to be his girlfriend, and he willingly helped her buy eyelashes, a solo vacation to Miami, and more. Judge Millian figures out what happened here very quickly. Even though the defendant laughs and refuses to take responsibility throughout the case, the judge is less than sympathetic with the plaintiff. She gets to tell him what many watching were thinking.
Well, you got the wrong idea, Judge.
Do I have the wrong idea?
Yes, you do.
I do?
Yes, you do.
I don't know, man. I got eyeballs.
He got into this situation, so he can't expect the courts to intervene when he feels taken advantage of. The worst part is the plaintiff is just as clueless in the end as he was when the case started.
Why else would I pay her bill? She
I'll
asked
tell
me.
you why, because you're a 60-year-old man dating a 27-year-old child.
Number 7, throwdown at the funeral home.
That's when my uncle came and he was breaking us apart, and I was stabbing him in the leg with the pen.
Everyone grieves differently. Apparently, some people get into a fight with their relative at a funeral home. When the plaintiff shows up to court with a cast, a wrist brace, and a missing patch of hair, she tells the court about how her niece assaulted her during a disagreement at a funeral parlor. Things get even weirder when the defendant reveals that her deceased grandmother is now haunting her house as a result of this feud.
Her spirit is still inside my house. I don't be home, and they would tell me my lights is on. I come home and my lights is on. She's still bothering me.
Just when we thought this case couldn't get any more unhinged, now ghosts are involved? Does she think Judge Millian is a paranormal investigator?
Who's still bothering you? Your grandmother's
My grandma's spirit.
Okay.
Yes.
Did you get along with your grandmother?
Yes.
Maybe there's spin-off potential here. Number 6, $3 pizza slice case.
But you're suing for $248. Well, that was subtracting $1.25 of the cookie, which I did accept.
The People's Court first arbitrator, Judge Joseph Wapner, presides over this case of a man suing a pizza shop for giving him a thin slice of pizza as opposed to the thick one he ordered. The owner of the shop comes armed with several witnesses as a beautiful piece of her restaurant's pizza to defend herself.
Is he welcome back in your establishment?
Well, sure, why not? I mean, we have the best pizza. Anyone is welcome.
I must say it smells good.
The case is ridiculous enough on its own, but the plaintiff's nickel and diming over the cookie he also bought, as well as his comically serious face throughout the proceedings, make it an early classic. Judge Wapner handles it with all as much professionalism as possible, which may be the craziest part of all.
You know, I do the topping. Okay. You put the toppings on both thick and thin?
Number 5, playing with fire.
And she told me that she smelled smoke. That alarmed me.
The plaintiff in this case woke up one night to find her living room in flames. It turned out that the girl she was babysitting overnight was playing with a lighter. Right away, it's clear that the defendant, aka the girl's father, is avoiding responsibility.
So if she in charge of my kid, what is she doing asleep?
At 1 o'clock in the morning?
Though he failed to tell the plaintiff about his daughter's proclivity to play with fire, he's not taking much blame. When the defendant and his daughter become visibly agitated with Judge Millian, she's shocked by their inability to control themselves and really lets them have it.
Y'all got the wrong attitude for people who set a fire in that lady's apartment.
Her patience has a limit, and when she runs out, no one is safe. Number 4, unfounded allegations. Judge Millian, learning the plaintiff of this case was once a litigant before her husband, fellow Judge John Schlesinger, may have been a first for her.
My husband.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's my husband.
Okay, well then, it's a small world.
But that isn't even one of the top 5 craziest things to happen during this case. The People's Court has had its fair share of unapologetic litigants, but this defendant deserves a special award.
So you photoshopped it?
It was a mistake, but I don't do this usually.
He's a website developer hired to build sites loaded with outrageous and defamatory allegations against the plaintiff. As the judge outlines every single reason why he's responsible, he can barely look her in the eye and visibly squirms as she lays into him.
Nah, you're in control. No, you're not only in control, you're a horrible person.
Still, the defendant remains shockingly aloof. The denial on display is truly astounding. Number 3, inappropriate relationship. No one gives a wrong-headed litigant a verbal tune-up quite like Judge Millian.
What business do you have having a minor go with you instead of her parents who's 16? Like, what business is this of yours? You're a grown man.
In this disturbing case, the adult plaintiff insists that the defendant's visually impaired teen daughter is being mistreated. He took matters into his own hands by helping her run away to Daytona. An unhinged recording of the plaintiff threatening to get the girl and her disabled mother thrown out of their house is the last straw for Judge Millian.
I'm going to be calling the association on Monday, and you at least won't have a place to live. Then you're going to have to come crawling to me for help.
One thing she can't stand is a civilian thinking they're above the law. She can't believe the plaintiff's hubris in thinking he could usurp the defendant's parental rights and enable a minor to run away.
How old are you? How old are you?
21, ma'am.
Where did you get this hubris?
Number 2, donation rejected. In a case Judge Millian once called one of her strangest ever, a couple sues their sperm donor for breach of contract. The defendant went to the plaintiff's house every day to provide his deposits, but when he asked for a break, he was accused of not satisfying his duties.
I did as much as I could, and it got to the point where it was tiring.
After some back and forth about the number of deposits made, the judge declares it her favorite case so far.
Okay, you guys are now my favorite case of my 9 years at People's Court.
She wishes the hopeful parents the best of luck in their journey before ruling against them. Although the case itself is crazy, what really makes it special is how relatively level-headed everyone involved is.
This kid really tried. Then it just became too much.
Honestly, it just makes the judge having to assess things like the limitations of male anatomy all the more unexpected. Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honourable mentions. Ghosted and robbed. A Tinder hookup ripped her off, and she still went back to him.
What happened in your life that would make you think that the only way you can keep a man is if you do these things that you're doing? It's crazy.
Hit and run. An accident inspires an animated demonstration from this litigant.
How did you push him?
I pushed him. Could I try on you?
Yes, that's
I went,
exactly.
please move from my car.
Okay.
Maybe I did a little bit harder. Move from my car.
Okay.
I want to get to my kids.
Dog and cow show. Just when you think you've seen it all, someone sues for deceased cows.
The white dog was eating the rear end off another dead cow.
The white dog was... Okay.
Was lunching on the dead cow.
Okay.
Neighbors from hell. Complaints turned into an all-out war.
She
Okay.
made gestures like she was going to do something to us.
What were the gestures that looked like...
just looking, and yeah, exactly, just like that.
Chicken necking?
Model behavior. A model and her mother claim a botched manicure made her lose out on jobs.
My daughter did have casting calls in which they were asking her to come in. She felt like she couldn't come in.
Is she a hand
was
model?
No, she's not a hand model.
If she's not a hand model, how on
She's
earth
doing
would a
commercials?
tiny little thing?
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, missing person.
No.
Apologize!
I'm very sorry for harboring.
Yeah, can you look at me in my eyes, though?
I'm very sorry for harboring your daughter.
Judge Millian has presided over lots of family cases, but this one left her, and us, almost speechless. The plaintiffs here lived every parent's worst nightmare when their teenage daughter ran away, igniting a full-scale police search. 6 days later, it was revealed that the girl's boyfriend and his mother were hiding her in their home.
She was found hiding under his bed in your house!
6 days.
Do you understand that there were parents suffering for 6 days while you did this?
After throwing one of the defendants out of the courtroom for his obnoxious and unrepentant behavior, the judge awards the plaintiffs the maximum judgment. She also offers some serious and touching advice about the struggle of parenting troubled children. She's not afraid to bring up how disgusting it was for the defendants to get involved in the way they did either.
While you're working on this so hard, the last thing you need are 2 unrepentant, smug other parents interfering.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from Ms. Mojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.